The people that support the lockdown have said that if we didn't have the lockdown, there would be catastrophe. Millions of people would die in the countries or states that didn't do that. We see that's not true in the case of Georgia and Florida, where they predicted human sacrifices and untold amount of deaths. Yet we're seeing that that's not the case when they restricted their lockdowns. And in places like Sweden that didn't have a lockdown, even though their deaths per capita may have been higher than places like Norway, we see that they were much lower than places that had huge lockdowns like the UK. But still, we were told that doesn't matter. The fact it was higher than Norway and Finland and other Scandinavian countries proved that the lockdown was justified. Well, another nail in that coffin, as the public health director of Norway has came out and said that the lockdown was an excessive mistake. Let's see what she has to say. Norway could have controlled the infection without lockdown, says the health chief. The head of the Norwegian Institute of Public Health believes Norway could have brought the coronavirus pandemic under control without a lockdown and called for the country to avoid such far-reaching measures if hit by a second wave. Camille Stoltenberg, the agency's director general, told state broadcaster NRK that the agency's analysis now suggested less restrictive measures. Our assessment now is that we could possibly have achieved the same effects and avoided some of the unfortunate impacts by not locking down, but instead keeping open, but with infection control measures, she said. This just goes to show another nail in the coffin of, but we have to lock down, we have to lock down. The lockdown, particularly in the United States, was about devastating the working class. It was about killing the economy to harm Trump's re-elections. That's why we see an article in Politico today that says Democrats are worried the economy could start to come back online before the November elections. That's what it was about. They wanted to collapse the middle class. They wanted to collapse the U.S. worker, and that's exactly what they're using this for, to gain more power, to have wealth redistribution, and make the federal government a socialist nightmare that destroys this middle class. This is more evidence that we need to fight against these lockdowns, and even the experts that we were told you have to trust experts in places like Norway are now starting to say that the lockdown was a huge mistake.